Okay, so welcome to day 3 of accessibility. So today we're looking at font size. As you can see, it's really important for lots of learners. So in the foundation for people with learning for difficulties on the webpage, it says shorter sentences, simple designs, adding simple images, and looking at the font size and type really improves and helps people with special educational needs or visual impairments. So again, we're going into settings and accessibility, and the iPad can really help us here. So we're going into display and text size again. We've got the ability to make something a bold text in the menus. We also have the ability to make items larger in text size, so we can change the text size of the menu and the added buttons. And then we have a few extra features that we can do. We can put on and off labels on, and that just has a little line or a little circle where our on off buttons are, and we can also put on off labels, and that underlines anything, as you can see with the word accessibility at the top, underlines anything clickable. So it just makes it easier for those who are visually impaired or with SEND needs to help them. Now when we go into a web page, we might need to do a different setting to make the text size slightly bigger, because the large accessibility size only really works on our menus, and it doesn't necessarily go into Safari. So to help that with Safari, all we need to look for is where we have at the very top the address bar. You've got two capital letter A's next to each other. If we click on that, you've got a small A and a big A. If you just click on the big A until you get to the text size that you want, it will make the text on that web page bigger, so that our visually impaired pupils, or those who need help with visually impaired, or potentially elderly parents or grandparents of those students, it would help them as well. So this is really about teaching our pupils to be good citizens, not just those that need it, but every student. It should be incorporated. Again, in books, we've got that symbol of the A's again. We can make the font size bigger or smaller. We can change the font as well. We can change the background color. Again, we talked about how that helps dyslexics. And again, the font is really important, and we'll look more into that in a different one of these videos. So we can change all of that. What's also interesting in books is if you don't like to flick the page over, you might want a scrolling view, and actually you can put it into scrolling view, so you just scroll up and down as opposed to flicking the pages over. So that can also be helpful for pupils as well, or for those people reading it. Now also in all of the iWorks, we have the ability to add these simple shapes to back up a design of a keynote or an iBook or anything that we want to create, just using very simple shapes that aren't overly designed or aren't overly complex, but are really important for visual stuff. Thank you for joining me, and please come back tomorrow for more accessibility.